Debug!
Hey, William!
43 countries, 6 automatic qualifiers, 37 semifinalists, 2 semifinals, 2 halves in each semifinal. Should we talk about all this?
Let's do this!
Today, Ukraine staged the semifinal allocation draw. The 37 countries competing in the 2 semifinals were drawn into each semi and, in fact, into each half. We are quickly going to review these semifinal by semifinal.
Kicking it off in semi-final 1 is Montenegro, Finland, Georgia, Portugal, Belgium, Sweden, Albania, Azerbaijan, Australia.
And the second half consists of Cyprus, Slovenia, Armenia, Moldova, Czech Republic, Latvia, Iceland, Greece, and Poland. And we should also point out that voting in this semifinal are Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. Now, Deb, in this semifinal, this is Game of Thrones, Hunger Games, bloodshed. You have so many countries that consistently qualify. Sweden, Azerbaijan, Australia. That is strength. This is going to be really tough for those borderline qualifiers who sometimes send mediocre songs.
But guess what? The borderline qualifiers aren't resting on their laurels. Take Portugal, for instance. This year's Festival de Canção has to be one of the most exciting national selection platforms. And they've really reshaped because they want a spot in the final.
And the truth is, don't get bitter, get better. If you're a borderline qualifier, don't send a borderline song and you'll go through. Latvia, Aminata Sabadogo.
Left field, new age, futuristic. What's that thing you say? Amazonian.
Amazonian realness, second place with the jury in the grand final. Anything is possible if you have a good song. But if we look at countries' past records, putting the song to the side, you know, you've got Cyprus, you've got Slovenia, Czech Republic, Latvia, Albania, Portugal. These are countries, Finland, which hasn't qualified in 2 years. These are all countries that,
guess what? Gabriela Gunčíková made history for the Czech Republic. And let me just say, Montenegro isn't coming with Highway this year. I believe there is a spot for Slavko in the final. Here's the bottom line. When you go to Eurovision, you should aim to win, not aim to qualify. So it really shouldn't matter where you're placed.
But you have to agree, this semi-final is the stronger of the two.
It's the dance of death. And I tell you what, there's going to be a very nasty cull. Someone's going to die, and it's not someone. A lot of people are going to die.
Tears will be shed, friendships will end, stilettos will snap. I cannot wait.
It's going to be killer. And there's, again, you know, will we see the polarities we've seen in the past where Poland ranks really high on the televote and then bottom with the juries?
Time will tell, but we move on to semi-final 2.
Kicking it off in first half is the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. We have Malta, the Netherlands, Serbia, Denmark, Russia, Romania, Hungary, Austria, Ireland.
And in the second half, we have Switzerland, Estonia, Israel, Bulgaria, San Marino, Lithuania, Croatia, Norway, and Belarus. And we should also point out that voting in this semifinal are Ukraine, France, and Germany. Now let me tell you, what immediately pops out to me is because the first semifinal has so many serious contenders usually, this makes the second semifinal a bit more open for the small guys. You know, Estonia, Israel, Lithuania, San Marino, bring an amazing song, you could go through. Switzerland, well...
The other thing to also remember is that we cannot just assume that past performance will be indicative of future performance. Greece 2016, hello!
Yes.
Bosnia and Herzegovina 2016, hello!
Yes.
Now these countries have always consistently qualified and done very well. Last year they struggled.
They struggled because something didn't gel. Basically, their performances weren't as strong as some other countries, and that's what happens. You gotta feel bad for Belgium and the Netherlands. They're in separate semifinals this time. Greece and Cyprus Oh!
are together.
They're together, honey!
But guess what? Will both of them survive the vote?
You gotta have a good song, and I think with Demi, you know, working with the Dream Team and with Hovig working with Thomas Gison, they probably will. A lot of people are saying that Ireland looks to be in a difficult position. They have Russia drawn.
But guess what? Now Ireland again, in fact, they're the #1 country in terms of the number of victories.
Devin, their last one was in the 90s.
I get that, but what I'm trying to say is that they still have a lead in some way, and they still resonate with lots of people in some way, and why can't they just put in an effort into a good song?
I'm feeling positive for Israel. They're in the same semi-final as Russia. Israel has lots of connections with Russia, of course. You look at voting records, they're also friendly to each other. I'm feeling good for Bulgaria. You know, Bulgaria showed real strength last year, and they're drawn into this semi, which is fantastic. And Croatia, they'll want to make it 2 finals in a row for sure after making it back last year, and they too are in this semi-final. Final point, Navi. Navi is an early fan favorite among the 5 songs that have been revealed, and Navi is in semi-final 2. So I'm feeling increasingly confident that Belarus will go through. But
Ivan didn't go through, and I think he had a much better song.
No, I was never confident about that. At Eurovision, I thought he had become borderline. I was feeling optimistic, and then he crashed out. But in the run-up, no. In any case, it is of course too early to make significant predictions because there are no songs, they're just 5 songs.
Absolutely, and I think also it is just a little bit ambitious to just hope that countries who have done neighbourly voting for so long will continue to do so. Again, Eurovision does throw a few surprises in some years. The votes that you expect ought to come from country A don't actually filter in.
No, voting is mixed up, and so is this semi-final allocation. This is what we think. What do you think? You can let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Yes! Be sure to like our channel and subscribe, and follow us as well on YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat.
All of it. We'll see you later.